In this video, let's briefly discuss the character types in C++. Now again, to locate ourselves, we're in the fundamental types category among the possible data types in C++. And in particular, among those fundamental types, we're discussing the character types. Now the language actually has a wide variety of character types to reflect the variations that are out there in terms of character sets and encodings used across the world. But the good news is we can, in most situations, use a simple char type. Sometimes people pronounce it char. Sometimes people pronounce it char. It all depends on kind of your personal preference there. I tend to say char, but it's up to you. So in C++, in most situations, we're going to be able to say char and then the name of our variable if we want to create a character type, a basic character type. A char is a single character used for the implementation's character set. Now the size of a char is actually implementation defined. In other words, it can vary from computer to computer, system to system, but it's typically 8 bits wide. And whether a char is signed or unsigned by default is also implementation defined. So I think you're starting to get a little bit of a flavor for what I'm talking about when I say that C++ often allows implementations and compilers to determine different details of how the language works in the spirit of giving programmers and compilers and system designers as much freedom and flexibility as they desire. Now you can, if you wish, use the signed and unsigned keywords with a char, which has the effect of guaranteeing that your char is either signed or unsigned, respectively. So we could come back here and say signed char response, or if we want an unsigned one, we just say unsigned char response. But unless you explicitly have a desire to make sure that it's either signed or unsigned, you can normally just use the keyword char. If we wish to actually provide a character to be stored into this variable, again, much in common with many other programming languages you may have encountered, we just use single quotes. So character literals are denoted using single quotes. I will let you know, in case you're interested, that there are additional character types available to you in the language, again, to reflect that diversity in terms of the number of encodings and character types that are out there, character sets that are out there in the world. So for example, if you wanted to have a character type that was specifically intended for a 16-bit character set, such as UTF-16, you could specify that desire using this data type in C++. Similarly, if you wanted to specifically declare that you are using a 32-bit character set, you could use char32, and then this underscore T is basically meant to denote the idea that we're using a type here. There's even a wide character, so we could say wchar. This is a wide character type intended for character sets such as Unicode. But since this is intended as an introduction to the fundamental character types, I'm not going to dwell on some of these variations really. I just kind of wanted to show them to you in case you're curious. Really, we're going to be able to use this char keyword to be able to declare characters, and the main takeaway apart from that is that you denote character literals using single quotes.